Telling our stories is the connective tissue of the collective human experience. The Just Keep Talking podcast delves into the lives and stories of artists. What is the impact of mental health on creativity? What does it mean to be a creative individual? Someone who feels deeply, experiences joy and pain intensely, and navigates the challenges of life through the creative process. With each story shared, we explore the authentic experience of our basic need to be seen, to be heard, and to belong. We're really not so different from one another, nor are we alone. Together, we can inspire, encourage, and enlighten each other to find the true joy and fulfillment that is within ourselves. When we just keep talking, we create the space for gratitude, self-acceptance, and grace in everyday life. In a world filled with divisiveness, fostering inclusivity and connection is a powerful way to make a positive impact. The Just Keep Talking podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters. Hello and welcome to the Just Keep Talking podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters. Every week I get to speak to somebody that I find interesting about connectivity, about community, about love, about loss, just basically about life. Because I think if we just keep talking, our stories end up helping ourselves and others to feel like, you know what, I'm not so alone in this world. So for that, I thank you all for tuning in. My guest this week is Joanna Basile. Hello.
Hi.
You are a manager, you're a marketer, you're an on-air host, you're a writer, you are a host of your own podcast called the Unrehearsed Podcast. You do a lot. I've known you for some time, but I've never really chatted with you. When I see you, I go, there's somebody who's really got it together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you wear that. I'm telling you. So I've seen you in the managerial position, right? I mean, you've managed some people that I know. Do you manage Elizabeth Cook? Or did you work
Project manager? I worked with her for many, many years. The role evolved over time.
Right.
And then now I'm kind of embarking on my own thing again.
Right.
So, which is what I had originally done when I was in LA. I was able to work with more people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you're specialized in working with a great number of people, I felt like I could help a lot more people. And then when you're working with one particular artist, that becomes your life for a long time. And I felt like it was time for me to explore some of those things that you talked about in the introduction, writing and those more creative things, including my show. Yeah, I'm now embarking on rebranding, but also I keep saying like creating my own private practice, but it's recreating it, which was a mental health and wellness / yoga practice.
Right. So what is your background with all that? Are you certified?
Yeah. So I was a certified counselor in California. My counseling certificate from UCLA. So while I was going to school at UCLA, I was also working full time for the Betty Ford Center in West LA.
Wow.
As a counselor and coordinator, care coordinator, and then also getting my yoga certification at the same time. And all the while I was getting and staying sober.
How long have you been sober?
It'll be 15 years this summer.
15 years, everything. God.
Everything, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. I just celebrated 3 years without the booze.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I kind of feel a kinship with you because I do a lot of things and I get very excited about the creativity of things. And I find myself lost in my own space sometimes. And I'm not saying that you're lost in your own space.
Oh, I am.
Okay, good. But when you say you're recreating, it's almost like you're recreating yourself because we're evolving all the time if we're doing things correctly, right? I mean, we're not static. You know, I mean, I may not tour anymore as much as I used to, but by no means am I static. I mean, I may be home, but I'm always working on something. And I've had a shift in my life where I quit drinking. I got off the road. That whole lifestyle was killing me. I was killing me. I was killing myself on a lot of levels, miserable, depressed. And I knew that if I didn't quit drinking, I would not be able to lift myself up and get out of that rut of being really sad and really depressed and really lost. I was like, all right, well, I'm touring. My band is opening up for this artist and nothing just felt good. Nothing felt right. And I'm still like kind of figuring it all out because I'm years past all of that. And here I am like embarking on something new like this podcast. And being able to meet people like yourself who have been on a journey of wellness, of health, of searching for the moment to create, which is every moment. And you've inspired me with a lot of the things that I've seen and see you do. So thank you for inspiring me without even knowing.
Thank you.
That's something that I think is really important. So you've been sober 15 years. You moved to Nashville when? How many years ago?
It'll be 8 years this summer.
And
late summer.
Did you come here for entertainment? Are you primarily in the entertainment world these days?
Primarily. Well, I always have been since my first gig running a recording studio. And then, once you get bit by the bug, forget it. I was also raised in a house with musicians.
Huh. Mom and dad were musicians?
My stepdad was a drummer, big band, jazz. And so we had a kit in the basement, a Slingerland,
yeah.
blue sparkle.
I had a U.S. Mercury blue sparkle drum set was my first drum kit.
Yeah.
E-sparkle was the thing, man.
And I was just enamored by it. But back then, it wasn't ladylike to play the drums. And him and I recently lost him, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's hard because we had such a tumultuous upbringing and very dysfunctional step families and the whole thing. Some addiction and alcoholism and all sorts of crazy stuff. But, the one thread I think throughout everything was the music thing. My appreciation for music runs deep. I have an incredible ear and a reverence for it because I don't play. And so I've got to work with some really great singers, and I'm amazed by it. But I also, how can I help lift someone else's creativity or make them better at their craft? And so over time and living in LA, you're super exposed to the entertainment world.
Right.
Everything. When I went and became a counselor and a yoga teacher, and I started doing the sober companion thing.
Yeah.
Then I was doing like a little bit of band counseling and that sort of thing. It kind of turned into this career.
Yeah.
And when I came here to Nashville, it just didn't translate. And I ended up working very intensely with individuals. And I don't think that's my lane either. I think it's served its purpose for as long as I've done it. And I love helping people. I get really stuck in the minutia and I end up maybe even enabling people in a lot of ways. Just got a life coaching certificate.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really cool.
So I just said, fuck it. And I went back to school and I got that. And so I'm trying to get my California certification here to Tennessee so I can do my counseling private practice because I do feel like I'm called to do that in a lot of ways.
Why?
You mentioned marketing, and I'm good at it. I have a brain for it.
Right.
But I feel like I could use that in other ways instead of just your corporate agency model marketing. That doesn't feel good to my soul. That doesn't feel good to the creative side of me. I'm good at the marketing stuff. I'm also good at the counseling stuff. You don't always necessarily love what you're good at. The counseling stuff, there's purpose. There's a sense of, purpose is the word, right? It gives you purpose and it feels like you're called to help other people.
Yeah.
I was encouraged by my professor and mentor to see it through. Like, she's a therapist with 1 million years under her belt and she's never lost the fire for it.
That's great.
It's hard when you work in addiction. Sometimes it's a thankless job, but also you lose people. And it's really difficult for me to lose clients or see clients.
When you mean lose, like pass away?
Yeah. I've had clients die. Not a direct. I did have one client that was overdosed and survived, but it had really terrible physical repercussions. And that's when I was like, I can't work in a treatment setting.
Right.
The great thing about when I was doing the yoga in the treatment centers, I would go in with my counseling and my yoga, newly sober. And you're doing yoga, you're having these transformative moments, these aha moments in yoga, and realizing that through movement of our body, it's like releasing things. It could be releasing emotions or trauma or whatever it is. I would have these moments of like revelation or an emotional breakthrough, oftentimes like sobbing on the ground. And a yoga instructor, someone who just goes in and teaches a physical yoga class. What do they do with that? So I did the trauma-informed training. I had the counseling and I went in and I was able to hold space for those people in a way that other yoga teachers or an instructor couldn't.
Right.
And then I was able to take excellent clinical notes and pass those on to their treatment team.
Right.
So we were utilizing those moments. So I got to go in, watch these people have these transformative experiences, create an environment or an experience for them to have that in, and then pass along the information. So it was really valuable information. I felt like, oh my God, I can go in. I don't have to get involved in the politics.
Right.
Like I get to know my students and my clients, yes, but I don't get so involved, like so emotionally involved that you are affected. Because I don't care what anybody says. There are people who are sober for a long time, like get used to it because people die all the time. I've never gotten used to one of my friends or colleagues overdosing. I've never gotten used to a client dying, and I don't think I ever will. It's just not in my DNA.
Yeah. I really appreciate your mindfulness that you decided to direct your attention inward because you really coached me. The reason why we're sitting here is because I hit you up on social media because I saw you and you were posting about disconnecting from social media for about 10 days, right?
Yeah.
You wrote, been on here 5 minutes and I've already seen some things that make my head and my heart ache. What did I accomplish in the 10 days that I've been off social media? And you just rattled off wonderful things. I completed a life coaching course, scored 94%. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Spoke with dear friends on the phone, walked Dutch, this beautiful dog right here, twice a day, finished a book and started another one. Congratulations. Trimmed a tree. I don't know where you find the time. Got my bicycle going, took the vet out a bunch. You have a really cool car. Sold stuff on Poshmark, read the morning paper every day, meditated every day, had coffee with a good friend that I haven't seen in a while, got to take a yoga class, tried goat yoga. You did a bunch of things, started your private practice again. You know, you're doing things. And then you went back on social media and you were like, wow. And you wrote, we are in the midst of trying times. I must take care of myself before I fight the good fight and help others. As much as I can't do that by burying my head, I can't do that in my head either. And I certainly cannot do that scrolling here. That just paused me in my tracks. And I almost started crying because I thought, wow, you're really helping me. You're really coaching me. You're speaking directly to me, Joanna Basile. So I want to talk about this phenomenon that we all know and we all say it all the time and we all do it, which is social media. And then we all say, I'm getting off of here and I'm putting my phone down. And then we pick it back up and we go back to whatever life we're doing. What happened? What was this for you? The conscious decision to put it down. I know it seems pedestrian. I just put it down. I needed to take a break, but I feel like you have some insight that I need to hear. So this is personal for me.
Okay. Well, then I'm speaking to you and anyone else that this applies to. Well, I keep my eye on tech. First, it was kind of forced on me because of work, right? You're working in a marketing agency and there's a lot of technology that's being introduced. And then it's just, to me, I feel like having my finger on the pulse of technology, me to evolve as a human being in this world, I need to be aware of it. And I also, in doing so, I learned of the dangers of it. And I remember reading a long time ago how, you know, the C-suite people at these tech companies, they don't let their kids have a phone. Or when they go into these meetings, they leave their phone in a different room because perhaps our phones are learning too much about us. If you start to look at how it's changing our brains, whether you're an adolescent or an adult, right? It's not healthy for us. And then as a woman, you see all these sexy photos and we just, even the neighbor or the traveler or whatever, and I'm doing this comparison thing. And we have these unrealistic beauty standards with these unrealistic standards. Now we're comparing ourselves to, say, the Kardashians. And that's not normal. Never was. If you think about it, like in the 60s, our parents wanted to get a car that was as nice as the neighbors, which was a Buick.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, but
there were different.
But there were magazines. There were things out there to aspire to, for sure. You actually had to go and get the magazine that came out once a week or once a month or bi-weekly, and it wasn't every second of every day.
And also, I noticed in past relationships that social media even became an issue because if you think about it, before, say, sexy photographs or porn or whatever, those people were unattainable. Now on social media, it's right there at our fingertips, and you could actually connect with those individuals. So it's like a constant barrage of things that normally wouldn't be at our reach. And then other things that really aren't at our reach that are being marketed to us in a way that they are attainable. It's just such a mind fuck. And so for someone like me who still reads books, actual books, and I actually still listen to the radio, I have to admit, all that sort of thing. I'm old school, I'm Generation X, all those things. It's just overwhelming for me. And a long time ago, I think it was in conjunction with, like, let's say the yoga retreats or the yoga teacher trainings, I would put my phone away. And it started with like 5 days and it'd be 7 days. And if I did the 6-man cruises, right? And you're out at sea, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to be off social media and off my phone as much as I can for the next 7 days. And it started becoming an annual thing. So this was my annual thing. And maybe now I'm going to make it biannual.
Right.
Because it was a lot easier than I remember it being, because maybe I'm just so over it.
Yeah.
And in the past year or so, I read this book called Future Proof. 9 Rules for Surviving in the Age of AI.
Nice.
Kevin Roose.
Cool.
So he's a tech writer.
Okay.
And just his style of writing was so easy and conversational and cool. I loved his writing. And he would say by day, they were talking about how tech was going to make our jobs easier and it was going to just make life easier and all. And then as night fell and they started to have a couple drinks in them, they started to say how they're going to make so much money and they're going to cut the workforce and all that.
Right.
So being someone that was working for my day job, right? The marketing thing, and looking at how am I going to future-proof myself, because AI is just going to take me out in a heartbeat. I'm like a middleman at this point, right? And so I read this book and I was like, okay, creators, right? And anything that we could put our handprint on. And I'm going to reread this because I really, really enjoyed the book. But also, I think I need to reread it with restarting my business again. And one of the things that he mentions is this book by Catherine Price called How to Break Up with Your Phone.
Nice.
And it goes through step-by-step process and how you do it every day and what you do to eliminate things on your phone that you just don't need that are distracting. And I did all that. And then, I took time off my phone. And this was kind of self-imposed because the state of the world, let's just say, just the state of things, it was really weighing heavy on me. The point, like, it was affecting my sleep. And maybe it should be. Things are concerning, but everything's so divisive.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they want.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need to stop participating in that.
Right.
So I put myself on.
Yeah, you put your phone down.
Yeah, I put myself on a self-imposed hiatus from unnecessary things on my phone, social media in particular.
Right. Well, good for you, because I find that is a very empowering move to be able to do that. You know, I'm around people, family members more recently that I haven't seen, my brother, and he has his phone ringing during dinner. And I said, you put your phone down. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And we're so ingrained in us that you just have it on all the time. You're accessible all the time. He's like, yeah, but this person's trying to reach me. And I'm like, I yelled at him. I'm like, well, you're in my house. I sounded right. All of a sudden, I'm the parent, right? You're in my house, put the phone down. And I thought to myself, why is it that you, whoever you are, but this was my brother, don't feel like it's necessary to spend time in the moment with the person that I'm with? And we've gone so far from that, from being in the moment. I want to read a quote by Michael Singer from the book Living Untethered that I love. And he says, if you are willing to experience the moment unfolding in front of you, you will have the opportunity to be inspired by everything. The simple fact that things exist will be sufficient to move you. And that blows my mind because it's so simple and so true. And yet there I am yelling at my brother to put his damn phone away while we're having dinner. Not even like while we're just driving around or watching TV. I mean, it drives me crazy. Like, put it on vibrate if we're in the house, but the thing's running all the time. And I just thought, we need to be more present in the moment. We need to be in the moment. And so what you did by putting all of that away for 10 days was pretty remarkable. And I love that you were able to list things, because we are in trying times and things are really insane and really blown out of proportion to the point where we're divided beyond getting back together, right? I'm not getting back together with some family members of mine for a very long time, or friends. And it's very depressing and it's very upsetting. But What I do understand is that when we have a connection, like I don't know you, but we're sitting in here right now and you are listening and I'm listening and we're being with each other. And this is nourishment for me. And this is nourishment that we can do on a very, very low level of our lives. That if we continue to connect with people, that maybe the moment will turn into the next moment, which turns into the next. And it's a very slow going thing. Peace is in every step, as Thich Nhat Hanh would say, or peace in every breath as well. And it's a lot of hard work, but this is the work that we should be doing. And I don't like to say shoulds and shouldn'ts, but
You can.
well, yeah, that's.
We have a lot of rules. That's what I found out through therapy. I have a lot of rules.
Please, you have that you impose on yourself, right?
Yeah, and others.
Yeah.
And it became an issue in relationships. I had all these rules, and then I had all these rules that I had to follow. And she said, "You got a lot of rules. Write them down."
Yeah.
And it was just, that was an exercise for me. It made me realize that, like you said, we shouldn't say should
Right.
or shouldn't,
Right.
right? It's like, you can. I mean, I get why you're saying that. Don't get me wrong. But I like how you talked about us sitting here connecting, because there's apps now for recording podcasts and it's all done through AI and on video and on this. Most people are just listening anyway, number one. Number two, I like sitting across from someone and having a conversation.
Yeah.
Like there's an exchange of energy. We can look at each other in the eyes. We can, see what we're doing. You play off each other.
Yeah.
It's, to me, that's rewarding in a way, just the process itself. And you brought up Michael Singer, which is funny because I'm rereading Untethered Soul.
Thank you for reminding us that it's okay to reread these books. I mean,
Oh God, I reread stuff all the time.
but people don't do that.
In the morning, I have to read something nourishing to get myself centered.
Right.
And I've been meditating like a motherfucker lately, like every day, come hell or high water. And I have such a better day if I meditate.
How long do you
real.
meditate for? What's your?
See, that's the thing.
Right.
You can do it. Listen, if I can get 10 minutes,
Yeah.
I'm happy.
It's
If
beautiful.
I can get 25 minutes in,
Yeah.
damn, like
Yeah.
I want it life. And I was old school. Like I shouldn't have to do a guided meditation. Well, who cares? If that helps you meditate better, go for it.
Yeah.
So there's Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you're familiar at all, but he works with a lot of people who have suffered with PTSD. And so I'm working through a lot of PTSD issues, and the meditations, it's about getting past the blockages and stop living in the past, and you're starting to live in the present.
Yeah.
And putting energy out there for your future and putting your energy towards your future. I have to hear that some mornings because for so long I was putting my energy towards other people's futures.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, rereading The Untethered Soul. I just finished The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer.
Yeah.
And that one, for some reason, I would read a chapter per morning because it was like the perfect size, the perfect
me too.
chunk.
Yeah.
And so I would take a bite out of the book and sit with that, maybe meditate after, maybe go for a walk. And so I have a little morning routine that I've probably been doing since I got sober.
Yeah.
So I was telling someone that recently she dove into 12-step, and I said, I read 86 through 88 in the big book every morning for a year. No joke. Come hell or high water, I read that. So that conditioned me to getting my head right for the day, but also to read something nourishing in the morning. It doesn't matter what the source is,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you read it before, because sometimes I get something different out of it. Because you have a different perspective based on where you're at in your life at any given time.
Yeah.
You had referencing at one point, like, you look like you have your shit together or whatever, or sometimes you have so much going on creatively, or you want to accomplish so many different things in different compartments that you lose yourself in it. I'm there, trust me, and have been for a minute. I had to hit restart.
Yeah.
Not just on like branding myself or my private practice. I had to hit restart on life. I had to lose everything. And when we could go on and on about that, but like I lost everything.
Yeah.
And I've had to come back physically, mentally, spiritually, relationship wise, all the things. And this is kind of a new start, but it's such a weird time in the world right now to be focusing inward.
Oh, I hear you.
Because you almost feel guilty about it. And I know I'm not alone in that. And I know I'm not alone in my suffering around a lot of things.
Yeah.
And just to, like, on a podcast, hear someone else say, this is really fucking with me. It's important for us to talk about things, because I don't know where we got this idea that life was perfect.
Yeah.
Or supposed to look perfect.
We're supposed to have everything the way we want it to be.
Right.
This was what Michael Singer talks about in The Untethered Soul, or Living Untethered, or the Surrender Experiment.
So in reading those books, you have like yoga philosophy down, because I was telling someone that The Untethered Soul is like yoga philosophy for dummies.
Yeah.
But, objectivity and staying present and all that. There were concepts that he talks about that were so lofty for me. My yoga lineage, my teacher, Eric Paschal, my original real yoga teacher, his teacher is Swamiji in India, Mumbai, India. And I've heard his daughter speak. I've yet to hear him speak. I don't know if I ever will. He's an older gentleman. But in these studies, like I've been studying Vedanta for years, ancient Indian philosophy.
Yeah.
Michael Singer's books like put it into perspective for me. Like it made it make sense. It took it where I could take those concepts and apply them.
Because he simplifies it in such a way that is digestible for me as a Westerner. I'm very much like you. I am so drawn to Eastern philosophy. I was born and raised as a Jew. I am absolutely Jewish. I mean, like I was bar mitzvahed. I have no desire to go to Israel. I mean, and people go, oh my God, you got to go to Israel. I'm like, I'd rather go to India. I'm just drawn there. I'm drawn to Eastern philosophy. I'm drawn to Vedanta. I'm drawn to, Yogananda. I'm drawn to Muktananda. I'm drawn to a lot of yogis. And it just speaks to me. But when Michael Singer says you free yourself by finding yourself in the untethered soul, I'm like, it's that easy. It's that simple. And of course, none of this is simple. And the reason why we're here is because somebody named Joanna Basile said, you know what I'm doing? I'm unplugging for 10 days. And I wanted to see how you were doing and how you're feeling and how you're plugging back in.
It was great to reset. And I shit you not, the second that I did, my phone was compromised.
Compromised?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I got hacked.
You got hacked?
Wow. Oh, yeah, it did.
Sorry.
So I had a particular phone service. It turns out that they had a data breach 2021 and again in 2024. Here I went to try and curb some of the use of technology. And then the second that I plugged back in, my phone's hacked.
Wow.
And I got to tell you what, it was very activating, very triggering.
Right.
And brought up a lot of fight or flight, a lot of survival mode.
Which is common right now with everybody,
Oh,
especially now.
Yes. And listen, I have spent this summer hitting pause on travel, hitting pause on dating, hitting pause. I mean, you name it. It's really been a journey of going inward. I have taken drastic measures to take care of my mental health and wellness. I started working for an organization, a nonprofit here, where they provide mental health and wellness day of show.
Wow.
So at festivals, and it's not just music, they're branching out into just live events.
Who's this?
So it's called Echo Live.
Echo Live. Wow.
Started by this guy, Chris. And Chris has a lighting company. He's been a touring professional for many, many years. And people that are in a touring environment or been on the road or at festivals, you see it has very unique issues, problems.
You're being nice. It's insane.
Yeah, sometimes it feels insane, right?
It's just it's unsettling.
So my first venture into it was CMA Fest.
Right.
And I got to see firsthand. And sometimes it's just a musician that comes off a bus and is just fried. And other times it's someone who's actually, on the trusses, a rigger who's up there and has something on their mind and needs to talk to someone because they're kind of in a dangerous position.
Yeah.
Or they're upset with an organization or their company and they just need to vent to someone. So it runs the whole gamut. It could be coaching, it could be counseling, but they just need someone to talk to. And in those scenarios, I could just pull out some yoga techniques and grounding techniques.
Right.
I had a loved one who would have kind of a crisis on the road and there was no one there to help, in that moment other than his colleagues. And they're not, sometimes that's above their pay grade. And I'm not going to pretend that there aren't going to be things that are outside my scope of work. But I know that people that I have worked with in real time at a festival or a live show,
Yeah.
it's been so rewarding.
Yeah.
And they always come back around to us and say thank you. So we set up backstage.
Mm-hmm.
It's for everyone. It's for the stagehand. It's for the artist. It's for whoever needs it at that given time. I look at it like mental wellness first aid.
Yeah. Triage. You like mental health triage.
Yeah. And so kind of the thing that they've come up with is how you holding up? Because it's hot out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's stressful. You know, there's so much going on and everybody thinks it's so glamorous and sexy all the time.
Right.
You know, it's not. But, you know, I've worked with entertainers in different capacities my entire career.
Mm-hmm.
For the last, let's say, 11, 12 years, I've been working with people in a wellness capacity.
Yeah.
Right. And so in my podcast, we talk to Dr. Charlie, who's the musician's physician.
Absolutely.
Right. And I know you know who he is. And we talk about, you know, what we can do to support our overall health and wellness when we're on the road or when we're in, you know, this environment. And there's Emily Rasmussen. She talks about nutrition.
Mm.
There's very specific things we can do to support. Now, then again, it's like, okay, do we have the resources to take care of ourselves that way? Because sometimes you're rolling up to the venue and they're throwing a pizza at you again.
Right.
But we as individuals, and I think when we eliminate alcohol, for example, now we're awake and aware.
Mm-hmm.
Good news is you get to feel everything. Bad news is you get to feel everything.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But you now create this an awareness, and it's like a whole nother level of adulting where I'm like, okay, now I have to take care of myself on a whole different level. And you're more aware of like the mental health issues that we might, you know, co-occurring disorders is what I would call it. So many of us are anxiety sufferers, depression, whatever it is, right? And now it's there. We took away our medicine and now we have to deal with these things. Then there's physical aspects that can help support all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds really overwhelming. And that's why we turn to professionals. Listen, anything I say, I am well researched. I read a lot. I talk to people that are way smarter than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to disperse that information.
Yeah.
So that's why I share the way I do on social media, because I'm just telling you sometimes what I do.
Right. Well, that's the whole part about this that I appreciate is that it's not just the professional with the certificate, the degree on the wall. You're speaking to me in the language that I understand, and I see you because I know you're in the same sort of world that I am in. It's just important to be able to connect on a level that makes sense.
Well, and that's what I'm saying too, is that we don't need all the resources in the world, you know, financially or otherwise. There's some simple things that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it could be as simple as just asking for help.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of resources for live music professionals and musicians, a lot of foundations, a lot of help out there if we just ask and look for it. This particular organization is called Echo Live, and they have All Access Live, which is when we're on site. And then they have All Access. So you can access mental health professionals, everything from coaching to therapists. And I think they do 4 no-cost sessions to start.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So one of the things that you're touching upon is I feel better when I'm helping and I'm giving. And it's sort of the nature of where I grew up. Like my mother was depressed. My mother helped people and she felt better. Now, that was a Band-Aid that didn't really help her in the long run. And so what I'm curious about is how are you with receiving? When it comes to receiving, you know, how are you? Where are you at with receiving? Because you seem like somebody who gives.
Well, I've recently had to ask for help. It's so humbling.
What's
oh my
that
God.
like? Because that's where
so hard.
Get into it with that. You know, I am terrible at asking for help. I think I can figure it out on my own, and I like to help and give to others. I've done some studying. I'm meditated. I'm centered. I can at least give a little bit of myself to whomever needs it in front of me now. And then I turn around and am a complete maniac and not dealing with my own anger and my own sadness and all that. And I say, wait, there's a real disconnect here. I don't ask for help and I'm not receiving help when it's given. And I'm curious about how you wade those waters.
Well, I think for a long time, I heard the old adage that givers have to be with givers. Otherwise, if a giver ends up with a taker, and this is in regards to relationship or friendship or whatever, you're always going to end up, you know, getting the short end of the stick. And that's too simple for me. Like I needed to learn some hard lessons.
Yeah.
So I tend to be empathetic. I tend to be a giver. I tend to be understanding and forgiving. And there are people that take advantage of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So they see that vulnerability and they see it as weakness. And people would say to me, you're strong and you're so smart and you've done all this work on yourself. How could you possibly get yourself in that situation?
Right. Exactly. All the time.
If I saw
Because
that
I'm a human
coming,
being.
right?
I don't know.
And I had a therapist for a long time back in LA. And she would say, you give your heart away. How about you save some for yourself? And it's funny, she said a lot of things years ago that didn't really resonate with me until they do.
Yeah.
So I had to learn some life lessons the hard way to hear that. Same thing with keep going back to the well, but the well is always dry.
Yeah.
And that was in relation to some family relationships. And I didn't know what that meant until, man, I was hit in the head with the wells dry. So getting back to how do I ask for help or how do I receive it? It's hard because it's foreign to me. And I don't do well with rejection. I don't think many people do, but it's hard to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because then especially if you get up the courage to ask for help and then someone says no.
Yeah.
And I've been forced to ask for help. So those of you who've helped me, thank you. And what I say to anyone that's ever helped me is I swear to you, if I couldn't repay you, I will pay this forward.
Right.
And that's just how I've always kind of lived, is paying things forward. And anytime I've helped anybody, I'm like, pay it forward.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the world be such a great place if we were busy just paying forward?
Yeah. But also there's a judgment attached to all of this. That's the part, like just being able to freely give and freely receive. Another quote here by my hero, Brene Brown.
Oh, yeah.
I quote Brene Brown on this show probably too much, but I don't think it's too much. So here we go. Until we can receive with an open heart, we're never really giving with an open heart. When we attach judgment to receiving help, we knowingly or unknowingly attach judgment to giving help. There's this judgment with, like I'm terrible for asking for help, that I'm weak for asking for help. And then I realize that if somebody's asking me for help, maybe I'm judging them. There's this thing, this judgment.
It feels transactional.
It's exactly right. It's transactional.
Right.
And it drives me nuts that I do it. And I'm trying to heal this about myself.
Okay, so one of the ways that I would do this is I worked with the unhoused. Okay, so when I took my addiction counseling education, and when I first moved here, I went and I worked with folks at Room in the Inn.
Yeah.
And what they would normally expect to be, say, a 12-step meeting, I would run it like, almost a class.
Yeah.
It was interactive. It wasn't just me talking at them or whatever. And it was a really great thing.
Yeah.
There's just something I did because I wanted to introduce myself or inject myself into the community here in a way that was unique and that I could use my education and my experience in a way that wasn't going to benefit me monetarily or whatever. It was just like, okay, this feels right.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about it much. Do things and don't tell anybody about it.
Right.
That builds self-esteem.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Yeah.
So there's things that I do in the wintertime. If you get McDonald's gift certificates, we know McDonald's isn't healthy, but $5 is going to get somebody a cup of coffee. They can go inside with their gift certificate and they can spend time in the warmth and get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I do stuff like that. I don't tell anybody I'm
Right.
doing it. It doesn't cost me a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money. Just these little things that are esteem building for me.
Yeah.
There's no transaction involved whatsoever. I don't even tell that person, pay it forward. How the fuck could they pay that forward? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a little way that I took the transaction out of help.
That's fantastic. I love that. So where are you at right now? Where are things for you like right now?
I am engrossed in taking care of my mental health.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about it. I wondered if I would or not, but I think this would be helpful for people. So there are these treatments out there like ketamine, S-ketamine, so it's nasally ingested, but that didn't seem like it was for me. And so I looked at TMS, transcranial magnetic, and I always forget what the S stands for. But it's basically there is a daily treatment lasts about 18 minutes long, and it's literally a magnet
Yeah.
tapping on your head
Right.
for 18 minutes a day for weeks. Okay.
Do you tap this on your own head or
Nope.
somebody does this for you?
I have to go into the office, and
Good.
thank God, I'm knocking on wood, my insurance covered it. And it's to reset the part of the brain that helps with resilience, because I've suffered trauma over time, PTSD, anxiety.
Mm-hmm. She pointed at me, by the way. Yes, I'm very
We
anxious.
talked about that. I
know.
pointed at you like in knowing, like,
Oh, that is no.
yes.
I have just really recently self-diagnosed myself. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not just anxious. I am anxious.
Yes. And so for those of us that drank and used addictively or alcoholically or just irresponsibly, a lot of the times, a very high percentage of us have suffered some sort of trauma. If you look at my trauma history, I'm surprised I'm still around. And I've overcome a lot of things because I'm resilient. Well, after a while, you get tired.
Yeah.
And I'm tired. So my psychiatrist and I are working on the part of the brain. It reactivates the part of my brain that induces resilience. And it helps my brain with the parts that are tired. And in doing that, it helps all other functions. It will help with depression the most.
Wow.
So I was never a depression sufferer. I think that was situational depression.
Right.
But all of a sudden it wasn't. Then it was just there. And I think I was also depressed because of the anxiety. And it kind of flip-flopped somewhere along the way where, you know, I led with anxiety. And in recent years, it's been depression. And so it will put the depression into remission.
The TMS.
Yeah.
Wow. So how long have you been doing TMS?
For a few weeks now, a couple months.
What's the difference in your feelings?
Well, I had the dip they talk about, and that's where if you look it up online, people will say like, oh, I felt worse. But there's a dip. If you take control of your treatment and you educate yourself and you know what's going on and you ask questions and you're transparent about where you're at, you will have the experience you're supposed to have.
Right.
So I'm going to see this thing out.
Yeah.
You know, I went through the dip.
When you say the dip, you mean like...
It was like one day where I couldn't get out of bed, and thank God it was on a Saturday, but it was just like, okay, this is weird. And I couldn't pinpoint why I didn't want to get out of bed. And I couldn't articulate how I was feeling. It was really weird. And that went on for a couple of days. And it was like, oh, okay, that happens in the treatment. And then you feel better.
Right. And do you feel better?
Yeah, it's also, I'm sleeping better.
That's important.
So, I mean, in the last couple of weeks, I've had better sleep than I have had in months and months.
Good for you. Congrats.
Sleep is really important.
Very much so.
And sleep hygiene. There's all sorts of things we can do, like stay the fuck off our phones.
Yeah.
At night. Yeah. And I've been exercising differently.
Okay.
Walking every day. The meditation. Oh my God. I'm not going to stop talking about the meditation. It's life-changing. It really is. And I've always done it, but this is different. This is like I'm committed to it.
Yeah. Well, that's a big deal. That's huge. Being committed to yourself, and you have a routine, and you're asked for help and you're receiving the help, and with therapy, you're on a pretty amazing journey.
Yeah. And I'm working again and feeling purposeful, and then having goals and seeing a future, which, you know, I still see a future despite whatever the hell's going on these days out there. I know that life is impermanent. I know that that's the truth of everything is everything's impermanent,
That's
right?
True.
But I have to have something to reach for, some goals, a future, and even if it's just in the form of energy and quantum physics and that. And if meditating is what's going to get me there and get me in a better mindset around my future, then I'll meditate every day.
Well, it's free, and it's absolutely opens us to the present moment, and it opens us to love and surrender. And all
I
of
do
the
it
things.
outside.
Yeah, you can do it wherever.
One of the things I'm learning through the meditation is if we come from a place of gratitude at any given moment, like if we live from a place of gratitude, we'll just have a better life. So I start every day with a little healthy routine. I have this work that I'm doing, the TMS, trying to sleep better. I still see Dr. Charlie.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I had 2 hand surgeries, so I'm still dealing with that a little bit. So I'm seeing my occupational therapist once a week in Balmead. So I have constant doctor's appointments. And then another health issue that I'm having looked at, that in itself can be exhausting.
You know, as we get older, I'm noticing now, especially with my 85-year-old neighbor friend, Larry, is that it's easy to just put it by the wayside. It's easy to just say, I'm not going to deal with this today. It's easy to say, well, I won't meditate today because I did it yesterday and I'll get back to it tomorrow. Oh, my broken hand. I can get to that later. And man, the stuff piles up.
I know. I feel like I don't have a choice. Like if
Good.
I don't take care of this shit,
Yes.
no one else is going to. I have no safety net.
Mm-hmm.
I am my own safety net.
Yeah.
I have to future-proof myself. And part of that is taking care of my physical health.
Yeah.
And also acupuncture.
Yes. Beautiful.
So in East Nashville here, we have a community acupuncture
Yes,
thing,
we do.
which acupuncture is really expensive actually because it's pretty amazing. But we have an affordable
Yes.
acupuncture center right here.
Sliding scale, and it's very affordable, and it's fantastic.
So that I think is helping with the sleep.
Yes, for sure.
So here's the thing. You go to a psychiatrist, you have these treatments. What I'm doing is, is it considered holistic? I don't know. But
it's helplistic. You're helping yourself.
right. But then you can keep piling on meds. Like, oh, you can't sleep here. Take this, take this,
yeah.
take this, take this. I'm trying to get it where I'm subtracting
Yeah.
medications at this point. And whether it's the PTSD or anxiety,
Yeah.
whatever. Like I want to get myself to a place that I don't need to be so reliant on pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't take anything narcotic. Just needed to say that. And I'm not checking out and I'm not avoiding. This is all in the spirit of taking care of myself.
Yeah.
And if I don't take care of myself,
Mm-hmm.
I can't help other people. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, there's no space for that.
No.
No. And I read this morning in my morning meditation, I was reading Thich Nhat Hanh, who's a Zen Buddhist master, a little poem about arriving. And the poem is, I have arrived, I am home. In the here, in the now, I am solid, I am free. In the ultimate, I dwell. Being in the here and in the now and knowing that you are home and that you have arrived, are you feeling more solid that you are home? And
It's so funny. And I'm going to share this. When you were reading that
Yeah.
and you said the word home,
Mm-hmm.
I felt it like
Me too.
inside. I felt it like in my center. And it just, I was like, oh my God, all the shit that I'm doing is actually,
Yeah.
it's actually helping. It's like, I'm home. I'm here.
Yeah.
It's not outside myself. It's here. When you said that, it resonated inside.
Yeah. Well, you're doing the work and you really are doing the work. And I really appreciate you sharing all of this. Really. Thank you. Yeah. I have a few questions. It's my little speed round. Are you ready?
Oh my God, I'm so scared.
Oh,
Yeah.
everybody always says that. I'm like, this is the easiest part. What fascinates you?
Gosh.
Joanna Basile, by the way, in case you're just tuning in now, what fascinates you?
The human brain is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Travel to new places, different cultures. It's so fascinating. And I feel a little lost without travel recently. But yeah, and I'm fascinated by people like Brene Brown.
Yeah.
She studies human nature.
Yeah.
People fascinate me.
Yeah. That's fantastic. What angers you? What pisses you off?
Oh, I'll tell you a little story. Yesterday, there was a woman chasing something, and it looked like a dog barreling at me and my dog. And I got worried for a moment, and then I realized it was a deer. Like, why is she chasing a deer? And as I approached her, I said, oh, I thought that was a dog. It was a deer.
Wow.
And she said, well, it's eating my neighbor's vegetables that are in the front yard. And I was like, so put them in the backyard with a fence, a garden fencing.
Yeah.
It was just the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And then she went, we don't walk around here much then because there's deer everywhere. I'm like, I walk twice a day for the last 8 years. And I see the most beautiful bucks and owls and red-tailed hawks. And it's so funny because it's on the block where I feel like Snow White. I'm always getting approached by just this beautiful wildlife. And it just so happened I was always on the phone with my stepdad when like a doe would come walking up to me and the dog, like unflinching.
Yeah.
And here this woman is chasing deer out of, well, you don't see it. There's like millions. And I've never seen that woman before in my life.
Well, yeah.
And I was like, what's wrong with people? Or the guy in the monster truck yesterday that just comes racing up and then he's backing into this thing and he's all sideways, like to go run in and get his Starbucks.
Yeah.
But that's me being judgy.
Well, what angers you? What pisses you
all
off?
that just
What is that?
The lack of awareness.
There you go.
See, you'd be a good coach.
Well,
You just asked me the right question. That's lack of awareness. The lack of awareness right now.
Yeah, is a real killer for
Oh,
all of us. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a buzzkill.
It's more than a buzzkill. It's a buzzkill to the point where you just don't even want to leave the house anymore.
I don't know if it makes me angry. It makes me hot, right?
Yeah, it does.
And I'll tell you what, on a more personal level, being gaslit.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
That makes me mad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at your face is red right now. Okay, what brings you joy?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, look at that. Change.
So many things. Sunshine. I did this course, a Yale course called The Science of Well-Being.
Wow.
And one of the things, it was kind of making you see what makes you happy. And it was different categories, right? And some of the things that I discovered as I've evolved, right, was savoring, or like just being in the moment and savoring and noticing things. And I noticed this morning, I'd put bug spray on before I go and I sit and meditate or read in the yard, because I have to, I'm a mosquito magnet. And the feeling of the breeze and the tingle of the bug spray.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I love this. And something about it reminded me of California. I don't know what, and it was bringing me so much, the stupid tingle of the bug spray.
The lightest touch.
So it's the littlest things that bring me joy.
Yeah.
The dog, when she put her head on my lap yesterday while I was sitting there and we were winding down for the night, and it was just like having this cozy, beautiful little creature just loving on me. You know, it's like those things.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because things like that happen all the time and we just don't even notice that they're happening. So you're being very aware of your surroundings and your moment. Being mindful, my friend, you are a mindful person.
I try.
If you had a magic wand and you could change, fix anything, I got it. Joanna Basile here with my magic wand. Psh, what would it be?
I'm going to refrain from being political.
You can be whatever you want, but.
Well, we talked about being divisive and I don't want to do that. What could I fix? My desire to fix things.
Wow. Right?
Maybe it's all just happening the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. Letting go.
You know, I wanted to tell you this personally. I'm telling everybody now, right? My grandmother used to say emphatically, as if she believed it in all of her being. She used to say, it will all make sense when we get to the other side. And sometimes I think that's what I hang on to.
Wow. That's fantastic. So what did we fix with your magic wand?
I want to fix my desire to fix things.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you for that. Now, here's the real big one. Toilet paper over or under?
Dude, over.
Thank you. You know, there's a lot of nut jobs out there in this world. Let me tell you something here.
I have a funny story about that. My friend Lauren, who lives in Paris now, right?
Oh, they probably do it under over there.
Well, no, we met when we were in Las Vegas, and she was my partner in crime. Oh, we were hellions. We had a lot of fun. It was good fun for the most part. And she's now married with kids and living outside Paris. They also have a house in the countryside.
Yeah.
So they bought this estate. So her and I used to fight about the toilet paper.
Oh.
And she goes, I know that you were at my house. I know you changed the toilet paper, because that's how like OCD I would be about it. I'm like, well, it drives me crazy. But I think I used to do it under.
Oh, you used to do it under.
I'll have to ask her now that we're having this conversation. Well, I think I used to do it under. And then I realized one day, like, that doesn't make any sense.
Joanna Basile, you have seen the light, and I appreciate you very, very much. You know, I go into people's houses, and if it's under, I change it just to see.
Do you change it?
Oh, you darn right. Just to see if they notice it. And I've had them on this show, and they say, oh, over for sure. And I say, you know what? I don't mean to call you a liar on my show, but look in your bathroom. No. It's under. I trust that this is over. And now this show is over. Joanna Basile, thank you so much for being on the Just Keep Talking podcast. Joanna Basile, the Unrehearsed podcast. I can't wait for more episodes.
Oh, yeah, a long time coming. I need to get started on that again.
Yeah, you don't need to fix anything. It's all working out. You are working out exactly the way you're supposed to work out. I really appreciate getting to know you. You're in the music industry. You're in the wellness industry. You are in the I am going to take care of myself so I could take care of others industry. And for that, I applaud you. How do we find you?
All my handles at Joanna Basile. I have a new website I'm going to launch. I think that's it for now.
Great.
Stay tuned.
That's enough.
But yeah, you mentioned the podcast. It's Unrehearsed with Joanna Basile. Yeah.
Episodes out on all platforms.
On all the platforms,
Yeah.
much like I'm sure you can find this podcast on all platforms that have podcasts.
That's right. The Just Keep Talking podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters. Thanks for tuning in. Joanna Basile, thank you for having me in your house.
Thank you for being here.
Until next time. You can personally support this show simply by clicking the tip link in the show notes. The Just Keep Talking podcast is now available on all podcast platforms. Please like, share, and subscribe. Visit our website at justkeeptalking.com, our YouTube channel at Just Keep Talking Podcast, and Instagram at The Just Keep Talking Podcast. We all just want to be seen, to be heard, and to belong. Thank you so much for supporting my mission and the Just Keep Talking Podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters.